Oh. Thank you. Hello. Okay, we got it. No audio. We are correcting that now. Hello, Scott. Hello, Pat. Hi, Ed. Hi, Tech Guy. Hey, Ken and History X. Hey, ACAPS. Scott, Frank. Hey, Devs. Hello, John.
It's on now.
It is on.
Yep, I just got the okay, it's on.
Okay, good.
From lovely wife.
Oh, very nice. Hi, everyone. Great to see you. Hopefully you can hear us now. Yeah? All right. Okay.
If you guys haven't gotten a chance, take our poll in our community section. Shane is so mad at me that we're doing this poll.
Please spare me here, everyone. If you're going to take the poll on our community page, please spare us. Hello, SCE to O Jenny. Hello. Pat, John. Hi, John. All right, everyone, we are just going to dive right in. We got some updates for you. And then really, honestly, we are here for you guys. We're going to be just answering some questions. Thank you, Frank, as are we. So have some questions for us, and we could have a really nice dialogue. Oh, boy, Scott voted. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll cut right to it. The updates as of right now, we've been giving you some updated numbers on where the operations are. So really, our operations have recently turned into 3 separate groups. Right? We have a diving group, we have a pumping group, and we have an environmental group. Right? So those 3 are working in conjunction with each other. You know, we were hopeful that the test pumping would have been, or the test pumping would be over, and the real pumping would have begun. I think right now we're looking at Friday. They're still kind of collating some of that data, and so if you know, a lot of you have watched that emergency update. So they test pump for about an hour. Then they put the grease pen out, they go on the bulkhead, see where the water is, and see how quickly it rises.
What are you doing?
What?
Just put it on your shirt.
I don't like it there. Hello, Andrew Biondo, APB2. Andrew is our coworker.
He's right here.
Oh my God, I know.
Welcome, Andrew. Andrew will also have the mustache with us.
Okay, so thank you. Hi, Joe. We'll get to Joe's question in a minute. So the test pumping is to see how much water incursion is coming back in, and then again to calibrate in A, B, and C all of those pumps. So we're hopeful by Friday night they will begin, and as I mentioned in the one of the emergency videos, they are going to be starting to do some work at night. So that might be, they might shine some lights down there and then see where the hull integrity is if they have big industrial lights. At nighttime, obviously you can see through bulkheads and think, well, not see through bulkheads, but you know what I'm saying. Like if there's any degradation anywhere, and so that would help them pinpoint. So those are the 3 groups: diving, pumping, and environmental. For some updated numbers from today, they've already patched about 33 holes. I do not know.
Real quick, is because you were mentioning groups. Scott asked, shouldn't they have a Save the Artifacts group? And we will get to artifacts during this this live show, but that is part of one of the groups, basically.
In a roundabout way, yeah. But we'll.
But that was kind of like the unified command of getting the ship upright, those 3 groups. There is separate things outside of that, and artifact salvaging has already started.
Yeah. So, thank you. Thanks for that question, Scott. So the updated numbers, they've patched 33 holes already. I do not know what that means. They have not told us when are they just putting a rubber membrane over it for now? Are they actually patching it with epoxy? Are they using some foam? We don't have that number. They've removed 38 cubic yards of oily debris. And I asked what oily debris means. All right, so it's the boom, it's the oil boom that's around USS the Sullivans, and also they have, I don't remember the name of it, but they have like this flat material as well. So that's usually what it means. They'll put it in, whatever is in the river, it's contained within, 5-10 yards around the ship. They take that out, it gets disposed of properly, and then they put new boom and sausages and what they call sausages, things like that. 277,000 gallons of uncontaminated water have been pumped out, which means obviously there's still a lot coming in. And so that's where we are at right now with that. They've been focusing on the bow. They feel pretty good about the bow, as I've mentioned in the updated video. The stern is giving them some problems. So they're focused a little bit more on the stern with the test pumping. And again, making sure safety of the ship, safety of the crew is paramount. And really, that's like the first goal of every day, is to make sure the ship is safe and make sure the staff that are on it are safe as well. So
we do have a question. How's the weather been? Some days windy, some days rainy.
We got snow this morning.
Today was snow because why not?
Right.
April 27th in Buffalo.
Yep, it's the 6th winter of 2022. Okay, so for Joe's question, how thick is the hull? All right, thanks for that question. Our last survey done was in about 2020, and it goes anywhere from 1.5 inches down to 1/10 of an inch. All right, so what they would do is they would take the strakes, and then they would measure each panel on the strake. All right, and so anywhere from 1/10 to say 1.25 inch. Again, they say at the keel, right, and the garboard, which is the steel that goes over the keel, and then those few strakes right above it, they say are pretty good. But once you get to that splash zone, it's Swiss cheese, pitted. So the work that we said started last year was going to be about a 4-foot band of that 2-part epoxy, covering 1 foot above the water line, down 3 feet below the water line, and then on the inside they were going to foam that 4-foot band to give it that inner and outer strength. And then they would spot check the rest of the hull moving forward, and that, from all intents and purposes, was going to be a 10 to 15 year protective salve for her, and then that would allow us to raise the money to go to dry dock. So hopefully that helps. Joe, what else it's a frightening amount. Go ahead.
Okay. John, were the number of holes known prior to sinking, but pumps already installed to keep up with the flow? Well, that was the whole, we knew there was a compromise somewhere, even last year, which is why Bidco was doing what they were doing with the epoxy.
Yeah.
So last year they had made their way about 25% through the ship, or around the hull, I believe it was.
Yeah, they did about 150 feet on the port side.
Right, and so as you guys have probably heard us say this before, the water's got to be 54 degrees or warmer for the epoxy to work effectively. So they had to stop for the season. So we weren't sure how many holes there were. We were in the process of figuring that out before this happened.
Thank you. Hi, Hoist. Oh boy, Hoist is westbound on the I-40 between Nashville and Memphis. Oh boy, he might not be too talkative. That's all right. Thanks for being here as always. Joe, you're welcome. John has a comment from USS Slater. When we were dry docked in 2014, the thickness of the hull was amazing. That wind water level takes a beating. Absolutely. So down below, she looks pretty good, except for some spot patching. And then, at that splash zone, it's just not great. Regarding the artifacts, I have put together a preservation, conservation, disposition plan. Thankfully, the Buffalo Naval Park staff worked really hard and really quickly to secure one of the spots on board the USS Little Rock, and that is going to be my triage center. So it's in the area. If you've watched our older videos, like our dewatering video, there's a mannequin in there, and leading to the CHT. If you've watched that CHT video, I walk through that big space to go to look at that head and then to go down below to the CHT. So that area is becoming our triage center. I'm working with a conservator that I've worked with in the past to set together a budget, all right, of the products we'll need to make sure that we are preserving each item, if it can be preserved, preserving each item, going to give it a catalog number, and move forward with that. And when the time is right, I'll be calling for volunteers. But we'll have volunteers for everything, degreasing the ship, hopefully, or something, or cleaning her, getting her ready again to have her second life. So, so that's a little bit about that. I'm working. The thing that I found is that with our two marine companies, they're pretty anxious to start getting the artifacts off, and we just want to make sure that we're doing this in a controlled way where every time they're on board, they're not taking something off and putting it and I don't know where it is. All right, so I'm trying to keep control over the issue, the subject a little bit, which is my purview as curator, and then move forward from there. So,
yeah. We have some questions coming in. Thank you to Andrew, who's helping us out with those questions too, because we try to get to every question, but we might not be able to. So if you see Andrew Biondo the second answering questions, that is because he is the caretaker of the USS The Sullivans.
Maybe we should just put his picture.
Yep. And then Andrew. So thank you, Andrew, for helping us answer questions. Very, much appreciated. I just want to go back up a little bit. Robert, you might not have been here earlier, right at the beginning when we were talking about the dry docking process, because he says almost seems time for a dry berth. So we'll just go over that real quick again. The point of the epoxy is to give her a 10 to 15 year salve. So in the meantime, we can raise the funds for a dry dock. It is very expensive, and we're working on raising that money to be able to do that at some point. That's of course an option for us, but at this time, this is a temporary solution in order for us to be able to go down that route if need be.
Yeah, that's ultimately the goal. Again, it would be $4 to $5 million, and that was last year. So, in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be $7 or $8 million, right? So, Michael, would it be realistic to make copies of the artifacts? It will be. That is a very good possibility. Most of the Sullivans has been populated before I started. All right, so it was populated with artifacts already. If I was starting with a blank canvas, I wouldn't have done some of the things that we did. We have a sailor board in the E division berthing, which is towards the aft of the ship. And so that board has original photographs of the crew who served aboard. So when someone would come, they'd give a photograph, it would go on the board. I didn't start that, but I have to see the condition of those photographs. It might be, some of them might be scannable, but their names were attached to that. The names are probably gone, so I don't want to jump out the window. So, but some of those things we could high-res scan and then put back on board, and I hope there isn't too much disposition that we might have to do, but thanks for the question.
So John works at Battleship Cove. He says he believes the USS Massachusetts was epoxied between dry to restore hull plating during the last dry dock to lengthen the time between dry docks. So
so that's what we were told. We vetted companies, we vetted the projects, we went with this two-part epoxy because we knew last year there was something going on with the Sullivans, and I know that I've replied to a lot of people with their comments saying, listen, COVID had a lot to do with this also, and some people have just said, oh, well, that's that's. What do they say? That's not real, or not. They didn't say it's not real, but they're like, that's not an excuse. Well, it is when we have 5 maintenance people, and 3 of them were laid off for multiple months, right? And so now, our bilge snipe video, it was Alan and I in the video. That's because we were the only 2 people on board. All right, so that time period during COVID, we just lost a lot of eyes on her, and we couldn't walk around. We had our own jobs to do, right? So we weren't able to walk around as much as we would have liked for those 2 winters of COVID, and that really is devastating, right? So that's that. Okay.
All right, John says, ask any recent artifact donations. We received a sea bag from a World War II Slater crew member today on which he wrote all the ports the ship visited during her service.
Yeah, we have a couple of those. John from the Slater. Any recent artifact donations?
I can, if you don't mind me jumping in.
No, go ahead.
With the, we did an exhibit on Executive Order 9901, which was great. We were able to work with families that were directly affected or involved in the integration of the armed forces in 1948. We met some wonderful people, family members, children of members that served, and someone that I met, Janice Martin, who's an amazing person. She lent us a bunch of stuff from her mother, who was in the 688 Postal Battalion during World War II. So we have some of her, we have her uniform, her boots, and some of her papers. And when she signed up for the military, they got cards to know where they were working each day. And if you haven't heard of Charity Adams, look her up on Wikipedia. Amazing person. And then Janice Martin's mother was Indiana Hunt Martin. They're trying to get a post office named after her right here in Buffalo because that's where she's from. But we were able to get some great artifacts from that time period, from about like 1943 to 1948, which it's great. It was an amazing experience working on this exhibit. So.
And they're on display here.
They are on display.
We're not open.
When we open,
but they're on display.
Come see it.
Yeah.
And,
no, that's great.
Yeah. And then yesterday we had that gentleman that was on the Sullivan, served on the Sullivan from 1962 to 1965. I believe he brought some photos for us too.
Where are those photos?
They might have been given to Joanne. He might not have. Maybe that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Calm down.
No. Well,
Calm down. Okay. Do one of these, right? Is it like
a Zen or something? Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I've been in communication with people, but I've kind of put a stop to the donations until this gets taken care of. So I've just been telling people to contact me in June. All right, and so there's that. Thank you, John. But I think right before this happened, and I've been on the Wednesday 2 weeks ago, we had a guy who was a Vietnam vet who had a medical book handwritten from a Viet Cong. And he took it from him, and he says it's a priceless artifact, and it could very well be, but it's written in Vietnamese, and it's from this Viet Cong doctor, and he's had it in his possession ever since. And I said, well, we'd love to have it here, and then he didn't donate it. So I don't know, he just wanted to show me or something, but I hope.
Always has a good question. Would a bubbler be feasible? We do use bubblers in the winter around the Sullivans.
Yeah.
It's hard though. Buffalo winters, the Buffalo River completely freezes over, and then as the temperature fluctuates, the ice breaks apart, and then it freezes back up again, and it's hard to control everything. But we do have bubblers around the Sullivans.
Yeah, that's true. We usually have anywhere from 3 to 6 going, and yeah, that will protect about 5 feet, and and then out about 3 or 4 feet, and then everything else just gets iced over. John Radins is here. He is a docent. Has Kelly Sullivan's letter been read, shared to the public? I do not believe so. I cannot answer that, but I don't think it's been shared with the public. I don't know if it will be shared with the public, but. Hi, John. Thanks. Sorry. The progress, they've plugged 33 holes. 277,000 gallons have been pumped off. The groups are the groups working on the hull, the ship, are broken up into 3: a diving group, a pumping group, and an environmental group, and they're all working in conjunction. So that's what kind of the updates that we had for today.
Yeah. Also, it snowed here today, John. So it
snowed. Yes. So, do you want to go into exciting news maybe about our YouTube channel or anything? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
No, you go for it.
You go for it. We'll shoot for it. Odds and evens.
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
You don't know what odds and evens mean?
Downstater. No, go ahead. I don't know. Go,
Okay,
I don't know.
rock, paper, scissors then.
No, let's just go. Just start
we're
talking
just dragging
about
it out now.
This is your thing.
Guys, we, we know we have a lot of people that come week after week, and we think it's fantastic. And YouTube offers these great membership tiers that that we are able to offer to you guys. And with snow, so we can guarantee more snow. What it is that we're going to start a membership for our YouTube page for our subscribers. You'll be able to get some bonus content, which includes membership-only live streams, membership videos. Now, that's not going to take away from what we do. We're not going to do less for non-members. We're going to continue to do what we're doing. But we want to offer a little bonus content if you want to subscribe. All the money goes to the park and helps the park. Yeah. So in a sense, it's a way of donating instead of just donating $100 at once or something. So we're looking at different plans. We'd like to have like a basic membership, which would be about $4.99 a month, and you'd get all that membership video. So you'd get special videos, special live streams, membership-only posts, access to our giveaways, and then we're looking at a second super membership, which is $15.99 a year. That includes everything that we just mentioned. Plus, it would also get you would have a season pass to the park.
A membership.
Right. So you would have access to come to the park every day if you wanted. So that is something we are working on. We plan to have it live within the next 2 weeks, so please stay tuned. Please come back next week, and hopefully we'll have it up and running. But like we said, give us about 2 weeks, and we'll have that going for you guys.
Yeah, we're really excited. We've been talking about it for a long time, but we have, we want to strike while the iron is hot, and okay. So, Steve, any update on when you can get it into dry dock? Very quickly, the plan that was established last year, sorry, I know, this is probably...
We should do it at the end. Why don't we...
Oh, okay. But real quickly for Steve.
That's one of the biggest questions, and I know that people are coming in the middle of the stream. We have mentioned it already, but we will mention it again. So we're going to go ahead again, and then maybe we'll just mention it again at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
So we noticed there was a problem in February of 2021, and on our YouTube channel we have the Bilge Snipes video. That was the, then we have part 2, part 3, part 4. But the first one in February of 21, we noticed there was a problem. We vetted some companies. Dry docking was not financially an option for us. Last year we talked to them. It was about $4 to $5 million. We're not the Buffalo Bills. We don't have that money. So what we did was we worked with some companies about the 2-part epoxy, getting it painted on the hull, which was started last year. They'll continue it again this year when she's raised, and this will give us a 10 to 15 year window to then be able to raise what will then be $7 or $8 million probably. So that, we don't get money. That's another big question. We do not get any federal money. We do not get any money from the Navy. All right, so 98% of our revenue is earned revenue, ticket sales, encampments, and so during COVID, we're closed. No one's coming around. So not only did we lose staff, but we lost income too. So thank you. So hopefully that helps. History X and Ken, thanks so much. He loves the YouTube membership option. Yeah, so do we. That's great.
John says I look stressed.
You?
I guess I look stressed.
Well, it was difficult for you to describe all of this stuff.
It's been a long 14 days for us.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep on trucking, as they say.
Off to Buffalo. That's right. So what was the last time the ship was in dry dock? It was about 1965 when she was decommissioned. All right, and there was a question earlier about how much oil is on board and things like that. Well, they do clean it out, but they don't squeegee, they're not squeegeeing the bulkheads or the shafts or the heating coils. All right, so they put a pump in, they pump out all the oil, and then whatever's left in there, at the bottom of the tank, it can come down to a point, so all of that oil is in there. It's slathered all over all of the instruments and all of the bulkheads, the overhead, the decking. So they just put the pump in. When it's empty and the pump can't bring any more out, they just move it and move it to the next pump. So there's still thousands of gallons of oil that are on board, just as little as possible to driver.
It would be, I think, the best way to explain it, or people that have asked me that, imagine sticking a hose in a gas tank and siphoning it out, and then basically when it stops coming out, you stop. That doesn't mean every little bit of oil or gas is out. So
that's right. To be blunt, you both look well. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Oh, Ken, that's great.
Let's see.
I will. You know what? I'll be with Ken on Saturday morning. So everyone, please, Ken at History X. You'll see his chats there. He's got a great channel too. We've worked on a couple videos. The USS Johnston. I've answered a couple of questions from his subscribers, and I've gone on his channel before for interviews, and I'll be doing it again this coming Saturday at 10 a.m., 9 Central, because he is in the Central time zone. So History X is a great channel. Go visit. He did a long series on various airplanes, and I think he's still doing that, the PBY Catalinas. And so he's got a great channel with a really diverse video base.
Yeah, and also John and the USS Slater have a YouTube channel as well. So definitely go check out History X. Definitely go check out the USS Slater's YouTube pages. They have been amazing to us, very supportive of us, and we want to be able to support them back.
The Slater has some great, they got the vlog, the work logs, the vlogs, I think they call them, and just their volunteer base is so knowledgeable. They're right to work, they're professional, they know what they're doing, and so those are great videos to watch. And I share them with the staff and say, hey guys, look, this is what it's like to have a real proper volunteer program, which we are establishing now. But we haven't really had one in the past. So. What other questions we got? Oh, well, thank you, everybody. John, we hope you enjoyed. So, Bill Abbott, our Director of Operations, went to Albany. They had some engine covers from a submarine, and we were able to pick those up and take those off of their hands. Yeah, thank you very much, John. That's appreciated. We were not sure of the provenance, I think. At least that's what, when I talked to Tim, we weren't really sure of the provenance. I don't know if they're Tagato classes or Baleo class submarines, but they look like they belong on a Gato, just from the pictures that I saw. So Bill was in Albany because he's around from that area, and he picked them up, and we're looking forward to having them polished up and see where we can put them on board Croker, like on one of our 3 remaining engines. So thank you.
Hoist said that the USS Iowa gave us some love on their podcast this week, so thank you to the USS Iowa for that. That's
wow,
fantastic. So thank you.
That's nice.
And thank you, Hoist, for letting us know that.
Yeah. I think I've met them at the HINZA conferences, but it's hard to break into that circle. It's hard to break into the Midway, Iowa, Intrepid circle. They're pretty insulated, and I'm kind of shy anyway.
You?
Yeah. So it's been hard to get to know those guys. So that's very nice of them. Thank you.
Let's see. 30 and hating it. Has any of the oil pumped out been used to relieve local gas prices?
Yeah, because 30 and hating is local. He's a local.
I will say I was by the Galleria Mall earlier, and I had to go get the key.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was 403.
Yeah, it's coming down.
A lot, but it's coming down. It is because of us.
Releasing the reserves.
We got you 30 and hating it.
We from the reserves. So, all right, Andrew's really kind of going crazy here.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. You're really helping us out a lot. And I like that Hugh asked Andrew the question. We do appreciate that as well.
Is her keel resting on the bottom? Yeah, right now about 210 feet of her 360 is 370. She's 376 feet long. 210 of that is in the riverbed. And that was like the first 4 or 5 days. They wanted to make sure that she wasn't shifting. All right, so that was why they were resting. They were waiting a little bit to see if any of the wind changed. You know, sometimes we get seiches where it pushes up the Buffalo River. Sometimes we get wind the other way, and it pushes it the other way. So.
Yeah, Steve says it was good to see New Jersey give you a shout out. Yeah, Ryan's been. You know, we appreciate everything Ryan's doing and saying about us, and you know, I've seen a lot of people come to our shows and saying that Ryan or Drac sent them over to us. So we appreciate everything that Ryan's been doing for us.
Yeah, it's you know, and I emailed him. I think it was today or something, and I haven't checked my email, but saying, you know, if you want to come here as the executive director of the Historic Naval Ship Association, if you want to come, if you want to be involved in meetings, you know, just say the word, and we'll see what we can do to get Ryan here if he wants to be a part of that as a representative of the Historic Naval Ship Association. So we'll see what happens.
John wants to know, is the list still at 14 degrees?
It is. Yeah, it's 14.1. And when we started, it was 30. So, you know, in that one video I showed you, like the contaminant oil line, and that's how tilted she was. And then as it comes back up, of course, that line comes straighter too. So, okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What do you think? Oh boy, okay, so sorry. Sam has a question about how does Mrs. Kelly Sullivan feel?
Oh, no, Andrew answered that for us. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, she's heartbroken.
He did have another question though, Sam.
What do you think about the Clamagore? Yeah, well, yeah, that's always tough when you lose a museum ship. That reverberates throughout the rest of the museum fleet. There was to my knowledge, there was a group of sub-vets that put together a corporation, or not but an association, you know, the Clamagore Restoration Group, I think, and then there was some legal battles going on with Patriots Point, but ultimately that failed. Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to lose another museum ship. And,
we're like a museum ship family.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you don't want to see anything go, and you know, I don't know her, she might be a guppy, she's a guppy, certainly I think with her subsail, she's got that flat subsail as opposed to the bridge one that we have. I know there's like the shark, I can't remember the name of them, but yeah, so they've already put out a call for artifacts. So we're going to be drafting a letter to them to see if there's something that we can get for our croaker. But yeah, that leaves then the Kavala and the croaker in SSK or post-war conversions. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I'm missing other ones. So we are the only ones then that would be in their 1953 Cold War SSK or Guppy 1 or Guppy 2 conversions.
Yeah.
So
Michael says Drac was in the U.S. a couple weeks ago. I think he actually just left, maybe this week. He didn't drop by, and he probably had, you know, he had this planned out, and I don't think he was really even anywhere near us. The closest probably would be New Jersey, but it's still a haul, and when you have a whole week already planned out of what you're doing, I know he was in D.C. with the American History Museum, because someone I know from there had reached out to me.
Oh, interesting.
But I mean, him and Ryan did a whole video on us, and that was very appreciative. Yeah. So, you know, we are glad that he was able to do that. But again, I mean, he had this planned, so nobody was going to know what was going to happen to the Sully. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. John Radens is piping up about the Clamagore. Thank you very much. Again, he's one of our docents here. He's a sub-vet as well. Okay, Pat, so at 14.1 degrees, I assume Coast Guard is well within the bounds of the hull. That can't. Can you explain what CG is? I'm thinking Coast Guard automatically, but my brain just isn't like that right on right now, so I don't So if you can, Pat, if you can explain that.
Frank, stable is safe enough to plug holes from the interior, which has been started to be done. What was the number?
Oh, center of gravity. Gee, I'm thinking Coast Guard. Yeah, thank you.
They're all like, dude, come on.
I know, man. Our brains are fried. Like, sorry, you know.
So the center of gravity is well within the bounds of the hull.
Yeah, I would.
I'm not an engineer.
Yeah, I would.
Answer that question.
That would probably be a better question for the CG or Bidco.
The other CG.
Or TNT. But it's okay, man. We all have a rough day. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I just, you're trying to go from subject to subject to subject to subject, and it really is kind of difficult to do that sometimes, especially after long days like we've had. But it's no excuse. Thank you, guys. CG.
Yeah, and thank you guys for the questions. You know, keep coming them in, and we're going to try to, between myself and Shane and Andrew in the chat.
And John,
and John Radins as well. We'll try to get to all of your questions.
Hi, Len. How are you? Len's been a great supporter fairly recently, and thank you for no. You are putting up with us, sir. It's but banana.
I think that's supposed to say ship. I hope a P and not a T.
Yeah, no, right. Not being flippant, but Frank, you've said you've been on a sinking ship before. Thank you, Len. We're doing our best. Or you know what I've been saying to, I've been responding to some comments that are pretty hateful. And I just say, you obviously have a lot of passion. We'd love to have you down as a volunteer when we're ready to start cleaning her up and getting her ship shape.
And that's not even facetious. You're being genuine.
Yeah, I'm being dead serious.
We are, and we get it. We're gonna have negative comments or the thing is that a lot of times it's easy to take things at face value, and we get that. We absolutely get that. There are a lot of things behind the scenes that even we don't understand or know that, we ask the same questions to our bosses, and we're like, well, why aren't we doing this or that? And then, it's explained to us why. So we're trusting the process, and that's really all we ask you guys to do is trust the process with us, because we all have questions. We're asking questions too, but we get it. And in order to have these negative feelings, you have to be almost passionate about it, right?
Right. You obviously have passion.
So we understand it, and all we ask is that you guys come to us with questions, and we will answer them as best as possible. Yeah. But we get it. We get the frustration. We do.
Yeah. But thank you. Man, we didn't really have much planned. We talked about the membership that we're going to be starting. We gave you guys the updates about, and then the updated numbers from today. We didn't really have much else. We just keep rolling with questions. I know there's a lot of them on. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's see, I'll jump in and roll. John Ayer, silly question, but if she's sitting on the bottom, have they thought of or checked prop shaft seals?
Yes. We have done the, see, my brain is so fried. Oh my God, the packing glands, all of that stuff, that is usually on our rotation. Again, the transom has been filled, but underneath that, we do check the packing glands and the shafts. The shafts have been removed, the rudder is still there. I'm sorry, the props have been removed, the rudder is still there, but that is not typically a source of catastrophic flooding. All right, it's more like a drip, and then we just get a bucket and take them out. And the same for the Little Rock as well. All right, it's a drip, and once a month we go down there and dump out the bucket.
See, Bryce is going to be an uncle, apparently. Congratulations, Bryce. His sister-in-law just started contractions today.
Oh, all right.
He says, I might need the Little Rock's armor plate.
Very good. Bryce, congratulations. That's great. That's great.
Saw a video on USS Cod after dry dock with new anodes. Does any of the three vessels still have them or propellers?
Thank you to Blues Garage. The Little Rock is the only one with her props. The Croakers and the Sullivans have been cut. I don't even know where the Croakers went. Who knows?
Probably with its anchor. That was for you, Ken.
That was good. But the props for the Sullivans are being restored, not right now, but we have them at a company, and they're going to be restored. And again, I think maybe 2 weeks ago or whenever we talked about it, it would be great to get them mounted. It's kind of an entranceway to our park, because they're lovely when they're ready to roll. We thought, this is okay.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Andrew, for thanking Jeff. Okay, the anchor comment was kind of funny. Well, you set us up for it.
Yeah, that's right. Specifically where I have a background, though. Oh, sorry, Len. See, Len, right at the top. It was specifically where I have a background. And what did he respond to before that, or whatever?
Funny how the first to throw rocks will be the last to help. Especially where I have a background in both museums. Hold on, let's see here. He's saying to ignore the haters. Basically.
Oh, yeah, right. Thank you. Well, I make that general comment. I'm not trying to change anybody, but we'd love to have your passion down here. Thank you, Len. He's been a great commenter. Missed something about Robert. Robert is always shared. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. Hello, Alpha627. I know you've been commenting because I've replied to a couple of your comments. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. So what is Don't Give Up the Ship?
Oh yeah, you got to talk about the flag.
We didn't even cover the flag. All right, sorry. So I know the background, from a couple weeks ago, people were like, why the hell are you in front of a Japanese flag? That's where we were. That's fine. That's part of our World War II exhibit.
Yeah, and I just want to explain that real quick guys, we have been pushed into every corner of the museum and the hangar building, and we're recording wherever we can. So that was part of our World War II exhibit. It was the way we had the camera angled. It was.
We also have American flags up there.
We have an American flag right next to it. It is part of a whole thing, but we do apologize if that, if anybody took that the wrong way. That was, of course,
Don't apologize too hard. I mean, it's fine.
But of course, it wasn't our intention. It was just what happened to be in the background at the time. So
5 gold star battle flag. All right, this is one that was donated from another docent. This is the battle flag for the USS The Sullivans. All right, and the USS The Sullivans DDG-68. So I was, about 2 years ago, I was looking at pictures of the DDG-68, and they had this illustrious flag flying from a halyard on their starboard yardarm.
I'm thirsty. I forgot my drink.
But that was mine.
This is mine. I'm getting you your Dr. Pepper.
Okay,
It wouldn't be
right.
the 2000 watch.
So I said, holy moly, that flag. Now theirs has got to be a 9x15, or it's got to be larger than that. I can't even imagine what the size of theirs is. So I started doing some research. This represents, obviously, this was the flag that hung in the Sullivans family on Adams Street in Waterloo, 98 Adams Street in Waterloo. And so I had one made, all right, which I'm happy to have made. It was embroidered. We flew it all last year. I was so proud. That's the most important flag here at the Naval Park for us, besides the American flag, and our Shamrock flag, of course. But this was one that was donated from John, one of our docents, and I'm going to be getting another battle flag made at the end of this season. It's a 4x6. The stars are actually embroidered on there, which is really important. And nothing makes my heart sing more than looking at that when she's, at attention with a windy day. So I don't know, I'll get emotional. But we wanted to put this as a backdrop, and it's convenient because Paul needs it for, Paul, our president and CEO, he needs it for the morning. Yes. So he could just come in and grab it tomorrow morning. And he's going to talk a little bit about the 5 Gold Star battle flag to the crew, to the 70 or 75 crew that are here. So that's...
We should give a shout out to them too. Because these guys...
Oh, yeah, well, sure. We list the company names, but yeah.
Right, from TNT, T&T.
Yeah.
Was that
ampersand, T and ampersand.
T and T, yes. Miller,
Environmental
group, the DEC, the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, BIDCO.
Yeah, at BIDCO, of course, you know.
Our docents, they're manning the tables.
Been great, manning the tables, signing everybody in and out every day, and our docents are just, they've been great for us, and we appreciate it. They volunteer their time, so.
And also, we have to give a shout out to the Cunningham family.
Yes, today they brought us pizza.
They donated food today. Lenova has been there. That little bakery. The little bakery in Niagara Falls has given us 2 rounds of lunches.
Sports City Pizza.
Sports City Pizza and Pub.
Yep, Wegmans. And Tim Hortons has been bringing us donuts and coffee every morning.
Every morning.
Yeah, right next to Southern Tier, right down the street from us. So we appreciate you guys over at Tim Hortons very much.
Yeah, so we want to thank everyone who's been bringing us food every day. It is a little
Pat, who works in our gift shop, supplied lunches one day as well.
She did?
She did, yeah.
I didn't know that.
So thank you, Pat.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Here we go. The Sullivan's Kid, Cassim Young, and the Velos in Greece, which is the old charrette. You are correct. Cassim Young is the third flesher. Yes. Shane, okay. Liam, go for it.
Now I have a question. So some destroyers and other museum ships have been hoisted up out of the water and put into cradles outside of the water. Have you considered doing that with the Sullivans?
Yeah, great question. That kind of goes part and parcel with like a cofferdam. Liam, appreciate the question. Thank you. Whenever we've talked about it, because we have talked about it in the past, building a cofferdam around all 3 of our vessels, draining out the water, and then creating a blocking system. Well, we actually, for the Sullivans, feel that if she is in a cradle out of water, that could actually destabilize her more, because she, in her current state, might not even be able to hold the weight of the main deck, the platforms, and of course the deck houses and superstructures. So the buoyancy of her being in water in her state is that, and what I'm meaning by that is not her current state right now, but the past 5-10 years has been helpful, because it distributes that weight, again, through hydrodynamics, and again, I didn't go to water school.
And that goes into, I'm sorry, I was reading other comments. Did you go into Alpha we can go right into what Alpha said, putting it in concrete.
Yeah, some people have asked, so that's that. If we put her in blocks out of water in her current state, meaning past 5-10 years, we actually think she'll begin to collapse like an accordion, just because the framing and the bulkheads down below and the strakes just wouldn't be able to hold the top heavy weight. So putting it in concrete, there's been some questions. Do you put concrete on the inside, or do you take her out of water and put her in concrete, and you rest her in concrete on the outside of the hull? Usually when people ask, I say concrete inside. There's been some conversation about that. We would be more looking towards that expandable foam. The USS Texas uses some expandable foam in their anti-torpedo blisters. Yep, that was the.
I just want to go back. John Radins reminded us of someone else. Paula's Donuts. Thank you. Also, Paula's Donuts.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you see that big?
Yeah, that wasn't Paula's though.
No, it was. That was from Paula's.
No,
it was.
Okay, all right. There was a
donut like this. It was like a wagon wheel.
A wagon wheel.
Someone asked if the store is open. Yes, and you can also go to buffalonavalpark.org and order merch on our website as well. Let's see.
And also that our footprint is only about 3.6 acres. If we were to take her out of water and put her on land somewhere, that would take up the rest of our park. So unless we were to move somewhere out of this little corner of the world and somewhere else in the Buffalo Harbor, taking anything out, the croaker out, certainly the Little Rock, we wouldn't even, think of that. But for the Sullivans or the croaker, that would take up most of our monument garden. All right, so we have 14 monuments here dedicated to different ethnicities, different conflicts. That would take up most of that space. So
So just like a lot of comments, basically like what we're saying too. Ryan at Battleship New Jersey has a good video talking about this subject, the issue of a cradle versus ship out of water.
Yeah, plus getting her, we'd have to lift her to get the blocks into position. How, how are we going to lift her? And I know there's been some helicopters that can lift, but I wouldn't even want to lift her.
Anybody got a helicopter we can borrow?
One of those, one of those things.
Let's see, John, are you guys able to cook meals on any of your vessels? Yes, so with the encampments that we have coming up, we actually will be cooking meals for the campers. So yes, USS Little Rock does have working ovens, yeah. We do use the galley for the encampment, so yeah. We're so spent.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like trying to focus. Let's see, Little Rock, is she floating or sitting on the bottom? Do we know the answer to that?
I do.
What is the answer?
The answer is she is sitting on the bottom.
She is sitting on the
bottom. Her draft
okay.
is so deep, it's about 27 feet. The Buffalo River, I mean, I'm not getting down there, but when they take soundings of the Buffalo River, and I know that's not the term, but they'll have those maps, and it has the footage at each area. I don't know what that's called. Cartography, I don't know, but. So we figure that she's about 4 feet into the Buffalo River, which we are okay with. But if you've watched that time-lapse video, right, she's moving around. Mm-hmm. So at some point when we get the wind coming in like a bathtub, pushes all the water in, she will rise, and then she kind of floats around, and then she settles right back down. Yep. Which is why it's so hard. We have an elevator that leads up to the Little Rock, and certainly our brows that lead from the Sullivans to the Little Rock, they break every season because you got a 12,000, 11,000 ton ship, and you've got this stable platform, and you're just moving it around, and the bows break.
Okay, we have some questions here.
Go ahead.
Will cleanup volunteers be able to stay on board the Little Rock? I don't know if we've even thought about that.
I think it would be fabulous, right? We do have the water back on.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
The water was back on the Little Rock.
To whoever got the water back on. It was just the hot box, right? Just a switch.
I don't know, maybe.
I think it was.
But let's give it up to Brendan and Andrew and Alan and.
How would you move CLG4 to get to the Sullivans? Would we have to, or would we move the Croaker?
How would you move? I think we'd have to move.
Little Rock?
Yeah, I think we would. Because I don't, then right there is the Buffalo River where it starts to bend.
Right.
And the Sullivans, so if you're, I don't know how to describe it, so it bends, so you could probably pull the Sullivans forward, but at some point she's going to have to bend, and we've got the platform there, these are words I use every day. I can't, not the pier, but the platform, the
stanchion?
The pylon. We have the pylons there for, for mooring lines. So we'd probably have to pull the Little Rock right out, straight out into the river, do the same with the Sullivans, and then begin inching her towards the Lake Erie. Which is, she's facing that way already, which is nice. She wouldn't need to be rotated. But right out to the mouth of Lake Erie.
Into Canada.
Yeah, but I would think, I will push for the volunteers to sleep on board.
It would be a cool experience and kind of a thank you.
Yeah, it would be.
But we don't know the answer to that. Yeah. We're not even close to, that's not a decision either one of us really has the authority to make at the end of the day.
We can make recommendations.
We can make recommendations.
Yes, and our recommendations carry weight.
Hey Shane and Steven, what is your favorite heavy cruiser class ship? I mean,
do you have one?
I'm a little biased to the Cleveland class. So.
Right, but the heavy cruisers, I don't have a favorite heavy cruiser. As with people who know me, I love the here we go again. Oh my God, the anti-aircraft, the CLAAs. So I love the Juno and I love the Atlanta, and there's two other, San Diego, but I love the CLAAs. All right, those are, and the Fletchers. Those are I've always liked small and speedy, right, as opposed to, but, the Brooklyns, morphed in a roundabout way with just some modifications into the Cleveland class, and the Cleveland class was the largest wartime class. They're light cruiser.
Alpha did correct me. He said it's a light cruiser, and the question was specifically heavy cruiser, so I do apologize.
No, that's right.
For getting that wrong. He also says, I don't know why, but I kind of like New Orleans and Baltimore classes.
Yeah, okay, for heavy cruisers.
Len said, Andrew, please keep us posted. I'm fine with getting a hotel room, but birthing on a Little Rock would be a dream come true.
Look at Andrew.
I know. Andrew, you have been... Let's show his picture again. You know what I love about this picture? Is that Andrew's such a nice guy. He's just like, and he'll talk to you and give you information. He's such a, but in this picture, which I took off a video, it's a video still.
Yeah.
I feel like he might mug me.
Yeah,
right? Look at him. He's like, what are you doing on my ship?
That's true. Yeah, that's funny. So Andrew loves that. You've watched him in videos, hopefully. Yeah, he's good. What's your favorite destroyer class? Sam, all right. Laffy, okay. Okay, good. Geez, my God, of course. For me, it's got to be the Fletchers. To me, they are beautiful looking, just like the CLAAs. They're just beautiful ships to look at. Now, even with our missing Mount 53, which was removed in 1950, somewhere between 1954 and 1959, so she is a little. You look at her profile, you're missing that. You're missing that aft deck house one that faces forward. But I mean, to me, the Fletchers are beautiful. I love watching them in action and all that stuff. So that's mine. Thanks, Alpha.
Let's see.
The HMS Belfast is a beautiful ship too, in London.
Yeah.
What else we got to cover here? We got about 4 minutes.
Yeah. I will say that, like, as far as battleships go, North Carolina class.
I don't. Go ahead.
No, I just, So what made me think of it is that Liam said, very nice that a relative served on the USS Chester. So my grandfather served on the USS Washington, which is a North Carolina class.
Oh, so you're
a little partial to that, yeah.
I don't have, we visited the Alabama, but I don't have a favorite battleship class.
You know what I'm excited to visit?
No. Oh.
We are going,
I don't know.
You know what? Let's not even say anything. Let's just say we have a very special live session planned for you in September.
Okay.
Shane is being, when you guys find out where we're going to be doing this live session, you're going to be like, Shane, why?
If something's going on, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If something's going on with the ship, I don't know. Go ahead. I'm done. Please don't take that poll. Yeah, so of course we've got our HINZA conference coming up this year in September. If we can do a live session from there, we will.
If we can do a live session.
Okay, it's good. Agree. That's why.
If you're not at Luau's the whole time.
Sitting back with Snoop and
I can see you with your straw skirt on, just like with
Yes.
a lei, and you're just like,
yeah, very good.
Yeah, I'll be there, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute. One more song, everybody. Boy, we're.
Oh yeah,
we are just Alaska. Yeah, the Alaska class is a lovely ship as well. But yeah, for battleships, I don't really have a favorite battleship class. But
Len, my cousin, was chief pharmacist on the USS Arizona, still aboard. Wasn't Alaska considered a battle cruiser? See, we all love ships.
I know. Well, sometimes, and we all have different knowledge bases of ships and things like that. So a lot of times, we don't have that overarching knowledge of everything. You know who does though? Kind of is Brendan. Brendan seems to know.
Oh, Brendan.
Okay, so thank you. Can you just scroll up
I don't know.
again?
I saw OHP in there. My man.
Can you scroll up just a little bit? Thank you. Okay, thank you to Steve. He's partial to the USS Arizona because he had relatives on board. We appreciate their sacrifices, of course. We appreciate that.
That's okay. That's where Len's comment came in. I'm sorry, Steve.
John, destroyer escorts are the coolest. Dude, I don't know. Where's my hat? USS Barber, DE-161. I don't have a Slater. But there you go. The Barber, also named after 3 brothers who were killed on the USS Oklahoma. And I'm hopeful that her commissioning was after the Sullivans. So that would be an interesting lookup for someone, for the USS Barber DE-161.
Liam, anyways, I'm going to go with that as anyways.
Where's anyways?
Yes, there's a ton of bias. Just look at my name. I agree with Shane on saying that the Fletcher is my favorite destroyer. Take a guess, USS Conway. 15 battle stars in World War II in Korea.
Yeah.
Andrew Biondo, the second. I did 4th gen to Fletcher's, 3 of the Oliver Hazard Perry class frigates. Anytime Oliver Hazard Perry's name is mentioned, I get like a little.
Yeah, well, that was a class.
He is. I love Oliver Hazard.
We'll
Perry.
have to get a ship.
I would name my child Hazard after him.
Interesting.
Right? That's a good name.
Yeah,
maybe a dog. Maybe a dog. Yeah.
Hi, John. USS Salem. I have not visited, although we talked to them. We had great conversations with them in Alabama last year, so that's a great ship. They might do a Halloween thing as well at the Salem, but South Dakota class, thank you, Frank. That is the Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, I think. Machinery space is actually vertical ladders. How do tourists enter your plant? Hugh Rohde, great question, thank you, and you're circling us back here. So for the machinery spaces, we had,
He asked Andrew.
He's asking Andrew? Oh, okay. Well, we'll let Andrew then.
Go ahead, answer.
You know, we had ladders built, so we use a deck hatch. And we built a doghouse, and then that leads you through, and then we're now an active museum ship, so we cut through the bulkhead. So the aft fire room and aft engine room are on our tour routes, and we cut a bulkhead, a door through, so you're not climbing up and down any vertical ladders. If you were to go to the forward engine room and the forward fire room, you would have to climb down those ladders, and I'd love to open that up on the curator tour. So as of right now, you know, there's no tours going on, no curator tours, but we'd love to have you there. But we will be putting out a call for volunteers sometime soon, and I will be doing I'll be doing another emergency update video over the next couple of days. Listen, we really appreciate all of your support. I know we're getting up against the time here. Thanks so much for being here, and we love this interaction.
We're so sorry, guys, that we can't answer every single question. We only have an hour here.
Well, we got to a lot of them, and then what we see is that they start talking amongst themselves, which is really nice. So that's
you guys
good.
are always welcome to continue commenting on this, and we always go back and read the comments. Shane is a comment replier machine.
1 to 2 hours every night, guys, and
So we're on social media, so make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have not subscribed to us already on YouTube, that is where you're going to get most of our in-detail information.
And see me on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9
on History X.
On History X.
Yes, and see me after class. I don't know. We're losing it.
No, that's good. So it's good. It's a long day today. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. And we think that the actual pumping for the ship will begin on Friday. All right, so that's where we're at. Test pumping. I believe they're still test pumping the stern. But hopefully by Friday, they will have everything calibrated. And I think what they're going to do, and again, well, you're not going to quote me, but they're going to do A and C first. All right, and then slowly bring up B, because those are the engine rooms and the machinery spaces and engine spaces, and so those are like 3 stories high. So if those are filled with water, they have to be really gentle. All right, so they don't want to bring it up where it can crack in the middle. or anything like that, of course. So they got to calibrate between the 3 A, B, and C sections.
Special shout out to Andrew and John Radens. Thank you, John.
John Radens, yeah, thank you for being here.
And helping us out with questions.
Len, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Len.
Listen, we will be back next week, and hopefully we will have our membership ready to go live as soon as we go off the air next week. You know, Shane and I will continue to get updates for you guys via YouTube and Twitter. And if you guys, and also
Matthew, I hear you.
Any chance we get a time lapse when they start raising her?
We just talked about that.
We did, yeah. And
think
actually
the
in the meeting today, remember,
the
the Coast Guard is working on that for us.
So I think the Coast Guard will have a video time lapse of bringing her back upright, and they're going to share it with us. At least that's the goal and the hope.
From what we understand, that'll be happening. So with that, we thank you guys for coming again, and we do apologize that we were a little absent-minded tonight. We hope that you understand, and I think
we'll be back at it, and we'll be
we should get Red Bull to sponsor us.
Okay. Drink your liquid
It's
thing.
just water.
I'm not going to touch that stuff.
What?
I don't need all those caffeine stimulants and things like that. My heart will burst.
You're drinking Dr. Pepper.
All right, everybody.
Good night. Go to bed, Cash.
That's right.
Should end the stream, huh?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's.
Oh man, I lost a page. Ken's probably loving this because usually I can hit end stream, but I got off that page somehow.
Okay, so we're still live.
We're still live.
Oh, God. Okay.
What was that? It's the ghosts.
Go ahead. Night, everybody. Well, that was a good one.